is the final video about the studies of the corrosion inside the pipeline. But this includes all corrosion about pipelines and all corrosion studies, full stop. We must continue to refer to real science, which is the study of everything. We must have a basis at the very start of time itself. Every nanosecond, day, year, decade, and millennium must fit into the big picture of everything we know by observable evidence and instrument acquired data at the present time, now. A point we must remember, in science there is no energy shortage. All energy came from the Big Bang and is due to expansion. That is still happening. I refer to Professor Brian Cox, who explains that we are all expanding, everything is expanding. We are in the singularity before the Big Bang. The problems that are being told to us about energy are all illusions and propaganda in order to control us. If the population knows about free energy, we would not pay for it, so this would weaken money, which is used to control us. We must make our scientific reports understandable to the maximum number of humans who are electro-chemical organisms. We are all electro-chemical organisms. That levels the playing field. Human beings are electrochemical organisms. We are all part of the Big Bang, so that all of this is examined, validated and added to by the massive reasoning power of billions of human brains, each of which exceeds that of all the computers that will ever exist. This is the power that is of thinking and reasoning, which is available to everybody. We must show it to them. This next series of simple diagrams that explain the method of determining cathodic despondent tests required by the coating industry, written by Professor Les Wolfe for the British Standards Institute, who wrote to me personally to confirm a paper that I presented to the Institute of Corrosion Science and Technology in London in the 1980s. Professor Wolfe complained that his specifications were either misunderstood or deliberately ignored by the industry and the testing authorities, including Dr. David Scantlebury of the University of Manchester Institute of Technology. In picture 14 above, you can see the specifications of Professor Wolfe's test, and in picture 15 below I have shaded the area to show the potential gradient in the electrolyte in the test tank that makes the exact distance of 10 millimeters vital. These pictures are in the HTML document which is accompanying this. I visited UMIST and saw the experiment set up and confirmed that it was incorrect, and wrote to Dr. Scantlebury, who failed to make a written report of my visit. He replied that I should get a book on electrochemistry, ignored my serious scientific questions. He was talking down to me. For those who do not understand the meaning of remote Earth, it is often referred to by electricians as ground. When electrical charges are pumped into the ground, they spread out in all directions according to the laws of electricity coded by Kirchhoff and others, and follow the paths of least resistance to complete their circuit to their source. Remote Earth is where there are infinite number of resistances in parallel, making an infinitely low resistance of the whole of Earth. I have simulated this by charging both metal trays as anodes in this experiment, and the charges will return to the transformer rectifier from all directions. They will meet resistance in the coating of the pipes, but not at the coating faults. We can prove this by mapping a potential profile. This final section of this series about internal pipeline corrosion must deal with the process that has been called impressed current cathodic protection. We generate alternating current electricity or connect to a supply, rectifying it into direct current electricity and discharge it into the ground. This is what we do in the field all over the world. In the following experiments, I have simulated this process and used the Alexander cell to measure the effects that this has on natural corrosion. This work is unique. We have the copyright and patents to all contact. It is in your own interest to subscribe and like all our videos. This is the final video and document in this series that is concentrating on the complications in measuring corrosion inside a pipeline or vessel. The impressed current cathodic protection system is seen in this picture, picture 92. This picture shows the instrumentation that I used to gather and record all the information relating to this series of studies. I am not aware that anyone or any organisation has carried out such research and development. We are unique. We must make our reports understandable to the maximum number of humans who are electrochemical organisms like us, human beings, so that it is examined, validated and added to by the massive reasoning power of billions of human brains, each one which exceeds that of all the computers that will ever exist. They must, as many as possible, must view and understand this video and the pictures. Picture 93 shows the setup. In picture 93 you can see that I have used two metal trays electrically connected in which to conduct this simulation. This allows the charges to dissipate evenly as they do in the field. All these experiments prove correct understanding of the science of corrosion studies that is unique to cathodic protection network blockchain, and that makes us the benchmark in our fields. establishing the only valid criteria is attained when using the Alexander cell. Picture 94 shows the setup where I am moving the so-called half cells, which are just ground contact electrodes of copper rods in a saturated solution of copper sulfate, and there's more details of this in the course. In picture 94 you can see that I've used a plastic non-conductive tray so that I could observe the direction of the current and the resulting voltages on the surface as can be observed when conducting DCVG and CIPS surveys in the field. In the background, we must remember that we are money. We humans change chemical materials into useful fabrics and items resembling the natural into utilities of monetary value. These have a tendency to return to their natural state through corrosion, and through our studies and engineering we capture and use the energy that is released. However, ownership of this knowledge and ability has temporarily stalled the benefits from benefiting the majority of humanity. By acknowledging the authority of corrupt systems by simply not paying bills, we are changing this system. The next picture, picture 95, is another moving picture which is shown of the effects of CIPS. The Earth's mantle has more energy than can be counted, and this energy is being released naturally through volcanic activity that is being studied and gradually being used. In El Salvador, it's being used to power data centers which control Bitcoin. Investing in bombs and bullets is a complete destruction of the assets that benefits nobody, not even the money rich. In these pictures they are GIF format made from videos that I made of the actual experiment. You can view these in the HTML document that is attached. Picture 97 shows the readings changing as the electrodes are moved. This allows the student to see the reading change with the movement of the electrode. Energy storage is now being studied by particle physicists because of big batteries that are being developed for electric vehicles. This includes the manufacture of dielectrics that are electrical insulators that can be polarized by an applied electric field. While it blocks the flow of electric current, it effectively stores or supports electrical energy. This is an alternative form of battery. During my time as a sentient entity, I've questioned everything and developed my own big picture. This series of videos includes much of the evidence in experiments that I have repeatedly conducted to confirm my theories. It is essential that the videos and information that I have published be viewed, liked and subscribed in order that our own peer review includes thousands of experienced engineers, scientists and operatives. Picture 1898 is another GIF, which is a moving picture. Shock waves trigger everything but are not understood. All explosions, expansions, require a trigger, and it is believed that the trigger for the Big Bang was Higgs boson. Higgs boson is considered to be a field, an idea, a word that creates mass out of nothing. It is sometimes called the God particle. I've dealt with this in detail in many of my videos. Picture 99 is another mobile picture, a GIF, and the final picture, 100, is labelled so that people can understand the components that I used and formed into this picture. As a comment which is of interest to engineers who worked on site, the Venner system of measuring ground resistance and its variance is a flawed system that does not understand the stratification of the Earth's surface and the disruption caused by pipeline construction and presence. All of this information is included in the correspondence course and the videos that I have published online, and this must be spread as far as possible, because when people understand the truth and the scientific truth and can experiment themselves, it cuts through much of the propaganda and absolute bullshit that is being spreaded to brainwash the population into conducting themselves in ways to the benefit of the manipulators of the money system, who want wars and all that sort of destructive stuff, and we want to get away from that. Thank you very much for listening to this video.